Good to see everybody out this morning. Now, before I start my lesson this morning, I've got something that's actually bothering me, and I think I need to bring it up before I start my lesson. The timing may not be good for this, but it's what I feel like I need to do to get it off my chest. Jeremy, I heard that you told Gary that I took a $20 bill out of the offering plate last Sunday, put it in my pocket. Well, church, I hope you can see how someone can start a rumor about someone and it gets all twisted about and hurts somebody's feelings. Mainly mine, Ralph. If everyone believed what these three people said about me, I could never be comfortable taking up an offering ever again. People would not trust me, and I'd probably have to resign from an usher, and I'd probably have to leave the church, Brother Steve. So what do you think the lesson is on today, Kathy? Gossiping, okay? Gossiping. Now, I do have a handout today. James, would you and Bill pass those out? Last time I did this, Brother Ansel Sr. started to get up and shut me up and tell me to go sit down. But I did tell Steve today that this is part of the lesson, so. I do want to thank Gary and Jeremy and Misty for being part of this little skit this morning. Huh? How many of y'all thought that was real? That's pretty good. All right, that's good. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I guess that ends the lesson, Steve. Oh, it's funny. Got to have a little fun here in Sunday school. So, just so you know, nothing has happened in this church to make me do this lesson on gossiping, okay? Even though we've lost 50 to 60 people over the last 8 years because of gossiping, that's not the reason. I'm just kidding. I'm doing this lesson because it's something that we all struggle with, whether we admit it or not. All right, everybody got one? All right. Now, gossiping can be very subtle, and a lot of times we don't even realize we're doing it. And even though we say we don't like to gossip, when it's right there in front of us, we find it hard not to resist getting right in the middle of it. So why is that? Well, we have this great desire to know what we don't know about somebody else, right? And you may actually think that you don't gossip. Not me, you say, Amy. I'm not into sharing the dirty details about a person's life just for the fun of it. That's not me. Well, whether we believe it or not, we all gossip. And let's look at 8 different types of gossip that we usually use. They're listed in your handout. I never thought there was 8 of these, but there is. Number 1, slandering someone. This is spreading a false rumor or a negative statement about a person to purposely cause damage to their reputation. Purposely cause damage. Anybody ever done that? Slandering somebody with your words. We all have done it. Number 2, dishing someone. Dishing someone. This is sharing the dirt on someone or the juicy information you learned about someone. And maybe this intent of sharing this information is not directly to cause damage, but by keeping this gossip alive, it continues to spread, and it ruins the image of the person that's about. Number 3, spreading rumors about someone. Basically, you hear something, it's not good, and it's also not confirmed to be true, and then you tell someone hoping they can give you more information about it. That's when the rumor, the wheel starts turning and turning and turning, and the gossip spreads. We're going to talk about rumors a little more in a few minutes. Number 4, backbiting someone. This part of gossip actually involves speaking spiteful about another person who's not present to defend herself. This is a secretive type of gossip. Number 5, not really joking. I've used this one before. Not really joking, but I hope you get the meaning. Have you ever taken some sort of the truth and turned it into a joke that makes other people question their character? Probably so. This type of gossip serves as another way to spread more gossip. Number 6, planting seeds about someone. This type of gossip is when something is said that makes someone assume something about another person. In other words, it questions somebody's morals and their character. Number 7, whispering innuendos about someone. Whispering in general can imply wrong thoughts. Just think about it. When you see somebody with their hand over their mouth, you automatically think that they're talking about somebody else. And finally, number 8, the last type of gossip is got this all wrong about someone. And here's where you admit that you probably got the information wrong, but you spread it anyway. It usually starts out like this. I may have misunderstood this, but this is one of the most common types of gossip. And we look at it like, I'm just passing the news along. We think that maybe some of that information could be true. But let's go back and talk about the difference between rumors and gossip. Now, although rumors are part of gossip, they still have somewhat different meanings. So let's look at rumors first. Rumors are information or a story that has not been verified. In other words, the person telling this story, they don't know for sure if it's certain or not. And most of the time, people who spread rumors don't bother to check it out and see if it's right. They just don't care. They're going to go ahead and repeat it anyway. And rumors can involve just about anything. And they're typically spread from person to person to person. And each time they're spread, they get exaggerated more and more and more each time they're told. Now, gossip, on the other hand, is the idle talk or rumor about the private affairs of someone. Usually involves some sort of juicy detail, which means that the information is shocking or it's personal. Usually involves love, relationships, and other issues that people usually don't talk about publicly. What's more, gossip is usually spread behind someone's back. And it can be very hurtful, causing pain and humiliation for the person it's all about. Bottom line is that people spread gossip without any thought of how it might impact the person they're talking about. So why do people gossip? Got to be some reasons. It's on the back of your handout. There's 5 common reasons that we gossip. Number 1, pride. Pride. Today, we live in a social society where we share in each other's lives. Facebook. We are curious people. We always want to be in the know. And talking about somebody else is interesting to us, whether it's true or not. We take pride in telling something about somebody else. Second reason people like to gossip is because of bitterness, hostility, anger, or resentment. If somebody's been mean to us, Alicia, and caused us to be bitter or angry, what's our first instinct? Gossip about them. We will express our inner feeling of hurt to anyone who will listen to us. Third reason, people gossip because they have low self-esteem. When someone lacks confidence in their own self, or they have no respect for themselves, they tend to pull others down around them to their level of gossiping. Fourth reason people gossip: to purposely attempt to destroy someone's reputation. You see this in the workplace all the time. Thank goodness, Lisa, nobody gossips in our workplace. Most of the time when we want to destroy someone's reputation, it is motivated by jealousy. I can sit here and say, I ain't jealous of anybody, Brother Steve. I'm really not. We shouldn't be jealous of anybody. Why? Misty, God made you the way you are. That's what he did. He don't want you to be like nobody else. The fifth and the last reason people gossip is the influence of peers. That'll happen this week at school, won't it? We like to join the crowd for acceptance, and one way to do that is to jump on that bandwagon. When someone else is tearing somebody down, we like to join right in, don't we? Well, I would say that we all have fallen in to at least one of these 5 categories. I'd say more than that. Now let's see what the Bible says about gossiping. Cody will have these up on the screen. James chapter 3, verses 2 through 8. We're going to read verses 2 through 5 first. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great and are driven by fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. What we say or what we don't say is important. Proper speech is not only saying the right words at the right time, but also controlling what we shouldn't say. Before we speak, we should always ask ourselves, is what I want to say true? Is it necessary to say? Is it a kind thing to say? Verse 6, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity, so is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. So James here is comparing the damages of a tongue to a raging fire. What he means is that an uncontrolled tongue can do terrible damage. And Satan is going to use your tongue to divide people. When we use the idle words about other people, it can spread destruction quickly. And a lot of times we think we can apologize for it later. But even after we do apologize, the scars are still going to stay there. You'll still have it on your mind. Gossip can destroy a relationship that took years and years to build. Verse 7 and 8. For every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed and hath been tamed of mankind, but the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. We are constantly fighting over the control of our tongue. And we need to remember that words are like an uncontrollable fire. We need to be careful of what we say. James chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law, and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that judgest another? Gossiping is like judging someone. We should never, never tear our brothers and sisters down with idle words. When we're ready to gossip about someone, we just need to remember God's law of love and say something good about them. Matthew chapter 15, verses 10 through 20, verses 10 and 11. And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. Defileth means to make foul, dirty, or unclean. What we say about someone can definitely affect their reputation. Verses 12 through 20. Then came his disciples and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Declare unto us this parable. And Jesus said, Are ye also yet without understanding? Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashen hands defileth not a man. We're always concerned about our outward appearance, what we look like. But what we should be concerned about is what's in our heart, what's on the inside. So what do you do when you find out that somebody's gossiping about you? What do you do? See what Matthew tells us. Chapter 18, verses 15 through 17. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican. I didn't do that a few minutes ago, did I? I went straight to number 3. I didn't approach Jeremy. I didn't approach Gary. I didn't approach me. I was trying to prove a point, though, Brother Steve. But it does sound like that you should go to the person first and let them know that they hurt your feelings. But keep in mind, Jesus is not telling you or giving you a license to have a frontal attack on somebody. He's not doing that. Or not to start a destructive campaign on gossiping or put the person on trial. That's not what he's talking about. These words are designed to help us all get along with each other. But the sad part is, whenever this happens to us individually, somebody wrongs us, we often do the exact opposite. We turn away in hatred, resentment. We seek revenge, or we gossip about them. So what we should do is go to that person first, no matter how difficult it's going to be, and discuss the situation. And don't be a hothead about it. Go to them as a Christian and forgive them. That's the only way to restore that relationship. Romans chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. Therefore, thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest, for wherein thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself. For thou that judgest doest the same things. But we are sure that the judgment of God is according to truth against them which commit such things. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things, and doest the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of God. This says that oftentimes the sin we see in others has taken root in us also, which means we're probably committing the same sin that they are. Same thing applies to gossip. A person who gossips is very critical of someone who gossips about them. Psalms chapter 15, verses 1 through 4. Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy city, holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned, but he honoreth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. Words are powerful, and how you use them reflects on your relationship with God. Nothing identifies Christians more than their ability to control their words. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11. I love this verse concerning gossip. And that ye study to be quiet, and to do your own business, and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you. We need to mind our own business, Kathy. As Christians, we need to work on our own faults. Y'all got any faults? And not gossip and spread rumors about somebody else. So in summary of this lesson this morning, gossip is more than just a little bad habit. It's wicked, it's sinful, and it's a disease of corruption. Mean, vicious accusations and rumors have ripped out the heart and soul of many Christians. It has drained them of their love, their enthusiasm, and their desire to live for God. Gossip has split churches, created strife, and promoted division and turmoil. The thing about gossip is that it is one of the most dangerous sins because it is so subtle and ambiguous. Many people are unable to recognize it. So just be on alert whenever you hear of secret information being circulated, or if you hear anyone else's name being used in the conversation. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 19. He that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. In other words, the best thing to do is not associate with a gossiper. Just remember that a person that gossips to you about others also gossips to others about you. Let me read that again. A person that gossips to you about others also gossips to others about you. So I hope you got something out of this lesson this morning. Let's just don't gossip about each other, church. Let's just love each other, forgive each other, and encourage each other. That's all we need to do. Brother Steve will be back next week in Lamentations. Is that where you? No, he's going to be back in Luke. Let's see. Who wants to dismiss us in prayer?